Hello, friends. Good to see you again. Well, I'm not seeing you, but I hope you are seeing me, which is the important thing. First, a couple of quick comments. One is I just sent an email, which I hope you all got. I want to explain briefly what will happen with your second essay. Initially, it was seen as two essays for the course, but when you can look at the syllabus, you'll see that there's one essay assignment. However, you may do a second essay if you feel the need to, and I will use the higher grade between the two essays for your final grade to use for your final grade. If you do a second essay and the grade is less than the first essay, um, then you'll go with the higher grade anyway. If you're going to do a second essay, it must be on a completely different topic and not the same topic. So it should be a completely new topic that you use, and you need to follow all the rules around that subject. The other thing is that for your final exam, I should let you know from now, you cannot write an essay on the same topic that you did for in your final exam that you've done on either of the essays if you do the essays. If you only choose to do one essay, that's fine and that's appropriate, and you've got that back and you know the grade for that. And when you look at the grade distribution structure, the structure of how the grades would be um, handle the percentage per assignment, you should be able to calculate. So, for those of you who are concerned to know what your current grade is or your grade standing is, that will be reflected in your first journal entries, which I've returned, and your first essay, which I've returned. Um, and as we go forward, I'll be sending you the rest of your journal entries in clusters as we go along. So that's the current situation. Also, please note on the syllabus, two texts do not exist on the syllabus. They're reflected also on the essay questions. One is Toni Morrison Sula, a beautiful story, a beautiful book, really, novel, but it's not one that we'll be discussing or exploring, and you will not be getting any testing on that. And the second one is Octavia Butler's short story, which is also not going to be included in your exam or in the essay assignments. So the way that if you look at the syllabus, the distribution has changed somewhat, and the assignments then are appropriately laid out in preparation. So this week we'll be looking at Alice Walker's everyday use. And then which we will do for 2 days, part one and part two. And then we will do an introduction to the African American drama. And then we'll begin our discussion of African American drama, beginning with Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. And then we'll go through Dutchman, we'll go through August Wilson's play, um, and Tasaki Shanji's For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. And then that will wrap up the text that we're looking at. The other thing I want to say, based on the essays that I've looked at, for the most part, you've been doing excellent work. I've been very impressed by your journal entries, your thoughtfulness, and the thoughtfulness of your engagement with this subject, and the insights that you're bringing to it. For the essays, I think your essays are sound. We still need you to work on our introductory paragraphs that are your thesis paragraphs. Full blown thesis paragraphs are very important to those essays. And the other thing is to pay attention to the prompt. You must include the prompt, the full wording of the prompt, and the number of the prompt at the top of the essay, and make sure your essay is responding to the prompt. You do not invent your own topic or your own subject, but your essay responds specifically to the prompt. If you pay attention to that, you should be in good shape. The other thing I've noticed is that with a couple of people, you're not using the text, the Norton Anthology, to reference the ideas that you're developing and so on, but you're using texts that are not assigned in this course, and don't do that, because many of these texts that you find online are not sanctioned because they are not accurate, and they do not present proper information. And frankly, there's a reason why there's an assigned text. So please do not just go running around doing whatever you think you want to do in terms of your source. Make sure that you're using the Norton Anthology. or a case, or if not using that, then it's very specific to something that I may have sent to you. Related to that, of course, is that most of what we're doing here is what I call we're doing it on an honor system. The honor system is that I trust you to make sure that your thoughts and your ideas are what are in these essays. If you're getting information from any other source, if you're lifting stuff and putting it in your essay, please cite that. Indicate where you're getting your information from, because I don't, I'm hoping not to see cases of plagiarism. Now, my view about plagiarism is that you're hurting yourself. I'm not a policeman, so I'm not going to go searching out to see whether you've plagiarized or not. I can only trust that you're not. And if I see it and I think that the work is not yours, it will be reflected in your grade in significant ways. But other than that, the most important thing is that I trust what you're doing. I notice with your journal entries, these are your thoughts and your ideas, and that's really important. Finally, in the essays, occasionally some of you slip into journal writing, and you're not supposed to. Your essays are formal essays, and they should sound like formal essays. You know how to do those. You've taken the courses that are relevant to that. So your essays should not be first person, personal opinion essays. They should be essays that present points and support the points with evidence from the text. For the most part, you're all doing this well, but occasionally you slip into these I believe or I feel and so on and so forth. None of that. That's absolutely not necessary. And especially when you get into informal language and colloquialisms and so on and so forth, none of that for the essays. You can do that, fine, to some extent with your journal entries, but not for your essays. Okay, so keep that in mind. And just this is just a catch up on where we are with the course. I'll be back to start talking about Alice Walker's everyday use.